Before we start this session, we just need to download Linux Mint. So go ahead and open a new browser, navigate to linuxmint.com and open the homepage. On the homepage, you'll see 4 different versions of Linux Mint: the Cinnamon Edition, Mate Edition, XFCE and KDE. These are all different GUIs for Linux Mint. Cinnamon is the most popular version of Linux, so I've selected Cinnamon Edition, and now I'm presented with a list of downloads. So I want to install the 64-bit, not the 32-bit, so if I go down to the 64-bit list, select a download location near to where you live. Once you select the link, Mint will start downloading, and that's it for this step. We'll use this file later to install Linux Mint onto our virtual machine. In this session, we will be installing Linux Mint to a new virtual machine. So let's start by making a new virtual machine. Think of a virtual machine as a new computer which resides inside of your existing computer. The new virtual machine that you will create will use and share the hardware resources of your existing computer, including the CPU, RAM, graphics and hard drive space. The majority of the time, Virtualbox should work using the majority of the default settings. So let's just go for it and create our first virtual machine without delving into specifications and advanced features at this point. Within the toolbar, press New to get started. Simply select an appropriate name for your new virtual machine. Select and type of operating system you intend to install. I will be installing Linux Mint 64-bit, so I select Linux as my operating system type, and I know that Mint uses 3.17 kernel and it is 64-bit, so I choose the Linux 3.x 64-bit option. I now need to allocate the amount of RAM that this new virtual machine will use. If you are not sure how much RAM the operating system needs, this information is normally found by using the words minimum specification and the operating system name in a search engine. The computer I am working on has 16 GB of RAM. Virtual machines share resources with your existing computer, so you will need to make sure that you leave enough RAM free to run your existing operating system. I would recommend that you just make sure at least 2 to 4 GB of RAM is available for your existing operating system if possible. I am going to assign 4 GB of RAM to my new virtual machine, which is plenty to run Linux Mint, or just about any Linux or Windows operating system. We can change the amount of RAM the virtual machine uses and any other hardware options later if you need to. Now we need to assign storage for our new virtual machine. So make sure that the hard disk setting is set to create a virtual hard disk now. Press create. Linux Mint will need about 10 GB of storage. I am allocating 15 GB to the new virtual machine. If you are installing Windows 7, 8 or 10, I recommend a hard disk size of 20 GB or more. If you know that you will be installing lots of software onto the new virtual machine, just select a bigger hard disk size. I am going to leave the other settings to the default configuration and press create. The new virtual machine is ready to install an operating system. Right click on the new virtual machine and select settings. Select storage and empty. On the right hand side, select the CD looking icon and choose virtual disk. This is the operating system we downloaded in a previous step. Imagine our virtual machine has a CD-ROM drive. What we have effectively just done is placed a CD in the CD-ROM drive of our virtual machine. So now when we start our new virtual machine, it will start to install the operating system from the CD or image you just placed or mounted to the CD-ROM drive of the virtual machine. Let's press OK, and we are nearly ready to start our new virtual machine. Select our new virtual machine and press start. A new window appears and Linux Mint starts. Linux Mint starts as a live CD, so in the first instance it takes us straight to the desktop. We can use and explore Linux in this format, but I want to show you how to install Linux. So go ahead and press Install Linux Mint icon on the desktop to start the installation. Select your language and press Continue. The internet is not necessary at this point to continue the installation, and I have a 15 GB virtual hard drive setup, which I configured earlier when I created this virtual machine. So press continue. We're going to skip the detail here and just press install now and continue. Select a time zone and keyboard layout, each time pressing continue. Select suitable names and passwords, and then we just need to wait for the installation to complete. Congratulations, you have just installed Linux Mint. Please let me know if you've had any problems with your installation. At this point, we no longer need the virtual installation CD or image, so first remove the CD or image from the virtual CD-ROM drive. If you don't remove the virtual CD every time you boot the virtual machine, it will run the virtual CD or image. To remove the disk from the virtual drive, select Devices, CD-ROM devices, and remove disk from the virtual drive. The final step is to restart the machine. There are many ways to restart or shut down the virtual machine. Resetting the machine using the shortcut key method, press the right control button and R on the keyboard together, and then press reset. Alternatively, navigate to the top menu, select machine and reset. The last steps in this tutorial will be to configure your new virtual machine with additional tools to enhance your experience and add more functionality to your virtual machine. Go ahead and select Devices from the menu and then insert Guest Additions. A new screen will appear, press Run, and then type in your user password. Authenticate and then press Y on the keyboard and then Enter. After a couple of seconds, the installation will be complete and you'll be prompted to press Enter. The terminal will close and then the Virtualbox Guest Additions will be installed.